Good evening. Tonight on Conmen Peace Theater, a drama for the ages. A man finding himself at odds with his own existence.
Hello? Yeah, I'm on my way home right now. Yeah, I just gotta make a quick stop at the store, get some milk, and I'll meet you there. All right. Bye. Honey, I'm home. And I got that milk that you wanted me to get.
I'm lactose intolerant. You never get it right.
I'm sorry, I'll try harder.
It's too late. I already found someone that knows what I like. Got cosplay, gaming, and late nights.
What? Who is this person?
I'm going out with Conmen. 7:30 on Cox Cable. I'm watching Conmen.
Conmen?
Conmen, delivering the convention to you, featuring fresh viewpoints from artists, authors, and creators of all kinds. Conmen.
I'm Tom.
I'm here at the Golden Gavel in East Windsor with Hector Rodriguez, and you might have seen some of his work on GWP, and he does Hell's Blood and also
Betty Laws.
Betty Laws. That's a cool comic. Check it out. Now, I noticed in some of your comic books you have some crossover, like a Wolverine mixed with Batman.
Well, those are only prints, but those are called mashups. A lot of people do them. I just started doing them maybe last year, and the first one did well, which was the Joker right here, so I kept going with it, and now I'm up to 5. I got maybe 20 more that I got in mind that I'm gonna do, but yeah, just prints.
So do you want to tell us a little bit about Hell's Blood?
Hell's Blood is actually a story about this kid that gets willed an opal that gives him power, and he doesn't want it. That's why this is actually the kid. So because he doesn't believe in that stuff, he turns into this demonic-looking thing, but he's actually the hero. And there's, other forces out to get the opal. There's actually more than one opal. There's like 10 of them. So there's different characters with different opals. I'm up to issue 4, which I have in a completed trade paperback. And I actually just wrote number 5, which everybody that's read it is saying is way darker than everything else, which is where I wanted it to go anyway, so now it's getting really dark.
What inspires you to do this type of work?
But I grew up in New York with the newsstand, so I did a lot of, I drew a lot of stuff from the comic books and stuff like that. But as I got older, I started getting into the more darker, stuff. And I kind of went in that direction. I work two regular jobs, and I do the comic books. And, I got a 6-year-old, so, everything, yeah. I was told once, every time you think of quitting, 20 or 30 guys are quitting. So if you make it past that, then you're just one step closer, and you keep doing that. I actually had a really bad experience at one of the first cons that I went to as a fan, showing my portfolio, and that kind of just fueled me more, because the guy basically told me that I should do something else, and this is where I'm at now. So I mean, my whole thing is never quit. Do it because you like it, not to get rich, because if you're doing it to get rich, you're gonna be sorely disappointed.
If anybody asks you, like while at a convention, do you commission any drawings at a convention for them?
Yes, I actually do. Because I started doing those crossovers, I'm starting to get people ask me, they throw really crazy stuff at me. Like the craziest one I got so far was Assassin's Creed and Spider-Man.
Oh, that's cool.
Which I think I pulled it off. He loved it, but you know, when they start throwing crazy stuff, like, you know, it's a challenge, but it's fun.
Now, how long does a commission take you to do?
At a convention, I try and do them as quick as possible. It's called sketching for a reason. But I do, like, you know, full render stuff. My only thing is that at conventions, I just take names and finish them at home where I'm more comfortable, and I mail them out. I actually did one at a convention. I wasn't happy with it. Went home, did a new one, and shipped that one also to the guy for the same price. You know, so it was 2 for the price of 1 type of thing. Just because I wasn't happy with the first one. So, I mean, you know.
So he got his money's worth.
Yeah, he was happy.
Oh, that's good. Well, all right, one last question.
Okay.
Now, I see that you're doing some Walking Dead work. You drew out the big, long poster work.
Yeah, like I said, that's, you know, that's my little tribute to the show and the book at the same time, because I started with the book. I mean, I know a lot of people started with the show, but it's a totally different gig.
So if Bobby Kirkman came up to you and said, Hector, I like your artwork, I want you to draw for our comic book, would you?
I'm all in. I'm all in, yeah. That's the goal, actually. I mean, not to draw for him, but to, you know, get into one of the bigger companies. But I'm happy where I'm at, actually. I mean, if I get there, great. If I don't, I'm still happy. I draw happy, you know?
Here we are with Hector Rodriguez in Hell's Blood and Betty Laws, and then a little bit more of the crossover comic book sketches and artists and commissions. So check them out here at the Golden Gavel. And if you're not here, you're missing out.
This is Hector Rodriguez, and you're watching Conman TV.
I'm a huge fan of just old school black and white comics. One of my biggest inspirations was Poison Elves by Drew Hayes, and it was all black and white, written, self-published, and that was probably my biggest inspiration growing up and what I'm somewhat trying to emulate, I guess. Huge love black and white. Color, not very good at yet.
So now you also do your own writing. Are you coming out with anything soon?
Yeah, well, I have one book that I did last year, a little intro called My Monster, which is available here and on my website. And I'm doing the full-length series, first issue, hoping to premiere it at Connecticut Comic-Con, the 3-day show coming up in August, which I just signed up for. Possibly Kickstarter to get it going, to print it, but either way, even if I have to do it at home, it's going to be out this summer, period. I'm doing 100% on my own. Write it, ink it, letter it. I do all that production, and like the mini comic stickers, all that I do right out of the studio. As little as I have to leave the house as possible is good for me, so that's more time I can spend drawing. But yeah, no help yet, other than people like Marshall and some of my peers that spend a lot of time online showing each other stuff to make sure, you know, what you're doing is good enough. Some honesty helps, but that's about the extent of it.
Cool. Now you talked to us a little bit about your inspiration for, you know, your drawing and your writing. What character have you come up with, and how did you come to create that character, and did you have any trouble with it?
My main character is a character called Dorian Thielach. He's a 6'5" elf. The ears and everything all came, the whole concept of the elf came from wanting to do Drew Hayes' Poison Elves and him being a huge inspiration. So my character originally was a role-playing character I had for Vampire the Masquerade, and I kind of added the elf ears and really liked it and just started kind of going from there. I kind of ripped off Drew Hayes right off in the beginning and then turned it into more of a sci-fi fantasy concept. But yeah, I think that's about the extent of that one.
Now, Oh, nice. Now, whether it be comic, poster work, art, manga, whatever, what's your bit of advice that you like to give to them?
To hell with everybody else and just do what you do. And as long as you're having fun, it's gonna happen. Just do it. And if you're not having fun drawing or creating, then just quit while you're ahead and move on to something else. Just do it. That was the advice I was given. Was just, what are you waiting for? Just draw a comic book. But I need to have funding. I need to do this. People don't know me. And everybody just said, so do it and they'll know you.
So enough with the excuses. Get out there and just do that.
Myself included, up until recently, working 40+ hours a week. You got family, you have friends. It doesn't matter. There's no excuse. If you love it, you're gonna do it. You find the time for what you love. Plain just like people will find the time to make sure they get home in time for Walking Dead or something. You can find an hour to draw a picture. So just do it.
So now, one last question. At these type of shows, or even at the Comic-Con down in Bridgeport in August, will you be there if somebody wants you to draw them a commission type, whether it be your character or a different character? Because I know that you draw a lot. Would you be able to do that for somebody at a show?
Oh yeah, at shows, I prefer at shows to do free sketches for pretty much anybody that asks. Quick, 15-minute sketch. I'm available for full-on commissions through my website, but at shows I'd rather not charge for them. If somebody asks for it, I'll do it. That's the way it was for me when I went to my first show, so I'd like to return the favor. So yeah, just come up and ask me, and it's yours.
Leo, you didn't have the right microphone with the right controller thing. You're welcome, Leo.
This is not the TV show you're looking for.
This is the TV show you're looking for.
Oh yeah, this is the TV show you're looking for.
Hi, I'm Leo, and you're watching Con Men TV, and I'm here with the lovely Tasha, and she's going to take over and do a couple of interviews for me while I go buy some comic books. So enjoy and stay tuned.
What do you guys think about this convention?
I just heard about it today. It's a great turnout. A lot of people are coming in now. And I'm glad that my friend Sean was having a booth here because I didn't even know about it.
Yeah.
Well, this is my second time here, and there's a lot more people here than there were last year. I was Wonder Woman last year. You can see my interview. I actually seen it for the first time a couple days ago. It was pretty good. It's great being here. Great being here.
For East Windsor, everybody come on out. You got nothing else better to do on Sunday, come on down.
Hi, I'm with Free Lunch Comics with Matt and Steve.
Hello. Hey.
So tell me a little bit about your studio.
Well, it's awesome. It's located in Granby, Connecticut, which is about a half an hour from here. And we do production, our production chores. Steve is a freelance writer. I'm a freelance artist. We take care of our regular chores during the day, and we do a lot of social events at night, art jams, game nights, stuff like that.
I heard that you guys have an event on Mondays.
We do the Monday Night Jam, which is our flagship event because it's open to everybody in the public, anybody with any kind of creative ideas, writers, artists. We've had musicians, we've had all kinds of people just congregate, gather, and share ideas, talk about anything they want to talk about, and just generally have a good time. And it's something we've been doing now for going on four and a half years. Coming up on 5 years. Yeah. So it really works out anywhere from on a really low night, 10 people, to we've had more people than chairs. Over 30 people probably in any given night. So it's a lot of fun. It's at the studio in Granby. It runs from 6 o'clock till 8:30. And there's always some kind of interesting round table or something to do. Discussion.
Awesome. So what do you have here today?
Well, aside from being a studio where we teach the classes and do the events, we have our own publishing company, which is Free Lunch Comics, and these are a lot of the books that we do. That's Junk Food, which is our single panel gags that I write and Matt draws, and that are in newspapers, magazines, and websites around the world. And we have our Facto Pedia, which is we're very proud to have done the illustrations and cartoons for. Matt, you want to flip to one of our illustrations? But it's basically a science book, a book of science facts, and we did the cartoons for it. So we're really proud of that. And yeah, we've got titles. We do science fiction, we do horror, we do humor, pretty much a little bit of everything. We do contortionism. It's amazing. And it's just a lot of fun. You know, we've really taken this comics thing, I think, as far as we can in this local area. You know, we're well known throughout the area for our teaching skills and just our fun and mentoring. And you know, we like to take pride in the fact that we inspire people to do their own books. And we've got some of our, you know, some of the people at this show even. I don't want to say got their start, but definitely were inspired by the things that we're doing and come to the Monday Night Jams, and you know, we're really proud of that. We're proud that we can offer it.
Awesome. So you guys teach a little bit of art and such. What do you teach in Pacific?
I teach, like right now I've got a class where we're doing mad science cartooning where we're creating monsters, which is a lot of fun. And then it steps up from there, like we do cartoon anatomy, comic book worlds, comic book storytelling, and character design. And it's not necessarily just for kids. We'll have kids, adults. You know, I had in my last class, I had high school and college students in there too. So, and drawing and painting for teens. And that's just on the art side. Steve has like writing classes that we offer too.
Yeah, I do a series of writing classes for graphic novels, for children's books. And then the really cool thing that both Matt and I do, we actually go to schools. We're hooked up with a bunch of school systems, including Hartford, where we actually go to classrooms. So if anybody out there is a teacher and want to provide something really unique for their students, it's called comic instruction. And if the kids are young enough, we wear hard hats and helmets and teach it that way. Or for the older kids, it's just the skills about producing comics, graphic novels. And it's been very successful, and we're in schools all the time, so it's really a blast.
Awesome. And just for our viewers, if they're into drawing and stuff and they just want to up the ante on their drawings, what should they learn or what should they do?
I think they should get used to poverty, which is really important when you're an artist. No, I'm just kidding. It's a joke. You guys can laugh. It's okay. I think just like any skill, whether it's basketball or carpentry or whatever, just do it. And don't be self-conscious about it. Just do it and do it and do it. If you draw the same thing 10 times in a row, the 10th one's going to be better than the first one, which is just the way it happens. And get the proper instruction.
And allow yourself to make mistakes. You know, be honest with yourself. One of the things that I like telling my students is to work with a ballpoint pen. Let the mistakes happen and fine-tune. And what you'll find is you'll get better and better as you go. So Steve's got it right. The more you do it, the better you're going to get. Challenge yourself. Even if you feel like you're at the top of your game, you could still keep upping the ante. Like we have to challenge ourselves as artists on a regular basis.
Well, thank you so much, Free Lunch Comics. They got it here. They're helping everybody out, learn and create.
Thank you, Tasha. Thank you, Conman.
Thank you, Tasha. Thanks, guys. My name's Matt Ryan, and this is
Steve Canaris.
And we are the owners of Free Lunch Studios, and we're proud to present on a weekly basis the Monday Night Jam for kids at 5 o'clock every Monday night, and at 6 o'clock for adults. It runs till 8:30 every Monday night.
I think we wanted to plug the Conmen show.
The Conmen
Yeah,
show?
I think they wanted to plug.
Really? Are you serious?
Yeah.
It's a good show, but do you really think?
Self-promotion, very important. But our friends at Conmen, we love what you're doing. Thank you very much.
We love it very much. And come back.
So I got my video games, my comic books, and a t-shirt, cool t-shirt. So we are good to go. Stay tuned for some more cool stuff. Hi, I'm Leo, and you're watching Conmen TV, and I'm here with Thaddeus, avid toy collector. He's collected a lot of toys, as seen on TV's Toy Hunter, and he's going to tell us a little bit about that. So how are you doing today, Thaddeus?
Good. What I basically collect and deal with are the Mego Corporation toys. And Mego Corporation went out of business in the early 80s, and no one has been able to really capture that type of action figure, an 8-inch, fully articulated, with accessories and cloth uniforms like they did. Basically, various different action figure lines they had, superheroes, Marvel and DC. They did Planet of the Apes, Star Trek, trying to think of some other ones. Wizard of Oz, I know, was a big hit for them. And basically that's where I specialize in my collecting and my dealings through eBay.
So how long have you been collecting toys?
I'd have to say probably a good 10 years. I started trying to recapture that feeling of being a child again, and you see some of the old things that you had, and I don't know, it just struck me, it struck an interest with me, and obviously with other people as well. So it seems like when I see people that are collecting, it's always something that is, you know, special to them, a special feeling for them for why they collect their action figures, or any toy for that matter, Barbies or Tonka trucks, you know, something that relates to their own personal experience.
Now, out of your entire collection, which toy would you say that would be your favorite that you can never part with?
Oh wow! Well, my wife would say that they're all partable. You can part with them all, but there are some that I really I care for the female characters that they created: Wonder Woman, Supergirl, Catwoman, and Batgirl. Those are pretty rare figures, and those are the ones I would want to hang on to the most as a collector.
Nice. Now, being an avid collector, do you have any advice for anybody who collects toys, maybe just as a starting out?
Oh, absolutely. You know, it's got to be something that interests you. You know, find something that you like. You don't have to go full bore and buy everything you always wanted to. Some of the excitement and the fun is finding that item. You know, there's a gratification of finding something you've been looking for a couple of years. And, you know, I would say, you know, go slow, a couple pieces at a time, you know, and definitely the condition of the figure is important. So always be wary of that. You don't want to buy something that costs too much money and then find out later that, hey, you paid too much for an item. So take your time, educate yourself on the figures, and with all the internet stuff now, it's pretty easy to do that.
Now that's interesting because I know that when you go to buy that toy in the store for the first time, it comes in a packaging. And some people would believe that once you open that packaging, the toy gets devalued. What are your opinions on that?
Well, I would have to say that's a fact, that it does lose value. But I'm definitely in the ballpark of opening your toys. I would never buy toys for the purpose of sticking them in a closet for 40 years and hoping they're worth money at that point. You know, they're made to be enjoyed. I understand why people want it in new condition, and that's what makes it rare, and that's what makes it special too. If everyone kept their toys in closets and never opened them, they wouldn't be worth much in 40 years anyway, because everybody have a closet full of toys, new and packaged. So it's the rarity what makes something worth more, not necessarily the condition, always, shall I say. This is Big Papa's Collectibles.com, and you're watching Con Men.
And I'm here with Jeff and Ian, and they're promoting their comic book here at East Windsor Golden Gavel. So why don't you guys tell us a little bit about that book?
Absolutely. Well, we have two books that I can... Jeff, could you pass me some copies right here? Two books I can talk to you about real quick. This is Dr. Atlantis, our steampunk series set on the high seas. It's about a world where the Earth really is flat and the ocean is endless. And the main character, Dr. Julius Fowler, takes his steam-powered ship out into the endless seas to explore the unknown. Shadow Tracers is our teenage superhero book. We tackle the age-old question, how do you solve crimes when you don't have a driver's license? Which is, you know, I know a problem we've all dealt with before. You know, they're both really fun books. They're doing really well. And Jeff, why don't you tell them about your books?
Yep. There is a book that I draw that is completely free to read on the Rare Earth Comics website called Pros and Cons. It is the life and times of a geek girl trying to be a geek in high school, which can be tough, and trying to be a girl at conventions, which can be tough. It's written by our friend E.B., who is a genuine geek girl, so she knows what she's talking about. And when that first script came out and they looked around the room, they said, now we need an artist to draw this, somebody who really understands the geek girl struggle. Obviously, they chose me. And then the book that I write and draw is called Doberman. And it is the story about this guy who decided when he was a real little kid, he wanted to be a superhero when he grows up. So he takes martial arts, he goes through all the training he thinks is necessary. But even with all of that, imagine if one day I were to put on a costume and run out into the streets of the city looking to fight crime. It goes about as well as you'd think it would.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's cool. Now, did that like inspire, anything inspire you to do that particular one?
The inspiration for Doberman is actually really weird. I had a dream, but in the dream, I was famous for writing and drawing Doberman. It wasn't about the story itself, but the story was there in the dream, so I just kind of fleshed it out from there.
Nice. Now, how did you two meet?
Through mutual acquaintances, Jeff had found out that I was working on comics, and I was to a very small extent at the time, and he brought the story of Doberman to me. Unfortunately, at the company, we didn't have the resources to print it, so I said, well, why don't we do it as a webcomic? And so we did, and we've been doing that for a long time now, and it's moved on to Jeff also doing pros and cons for our website, and he's got a new series called Steampunks, which is going to be coming out this summer, which is looking really good.
Yeah, Steampunks is, it's a steampunk world. It's high class, it's high society, it's the top hats, it's the monocles, it's the Victorian high class that you think of. But it is about the penniless gutter punks. And almost all of the characters in that are based on real historical punks. The brothers Joey and Johnny, John is the gang leader, and, you know, we've got Joan, we've got Sid, we've got all these other names that punk fans are familiar with, just in a new take.
Do your comic books take place here in Connecticut at all, or do they take place somewhere else?
In fact, many of our comics do take place in Connecticut, whether it's stated or not. Shadow Tracers explicitly takes place in Hartford. I know Doberman, Jeff can talk a little bit about that in a second. Doberman is loosely based on the Agawam, Springfield area. He can talk, though it is a fictional city. I'm actually working on another graphic novel with David Robles, the artist of Shadow Tracers, called Christina of the River, which is all about a girl from the inner city of Hartford, where I've grown up and do live, who falls into the Park River, which does run under the city of Hartford. And when she comes out the other end, she's in a fantasy world. And so a lot of our stuff does take place locally. Jeff, why don't you talk a little bit about the architecture in Doberman and how it relates to where you've grown up?
Absolutely. If you take a look throughout the pages of Doberman, you're going to see places from my life, but I didn't want to be stuck to an architecture or an area. So it's a city called New Black Rock, because all of the characters throughout Doberman and a lot of the ties are very Irish in theme, so I wanted an Irish-sounded city, so I looked at Irish cities. I didn't want New Dublin. I didn't want something. Black Rock, Ireland. Okay, New Black Rock is the name of it. But then the visually, like, there's bits of Springfield in there. There's bits of Holyoke in there. There is a town that is a house in one of the early pages that is very loosely based on the house I grew up in. Yeah, so as you look through it, it's a lot of what I see every day put down on the page.
Commissions are really how Rare Earth Comics makes its money. I mean, we sell our books and we do well, but the company is generally funded by artists doing commissions at convention. And I need to make this very clear. We are living off of the labors of the Rare Earth Comics art team. Jeff Tingley, Carl Mefford, the great David Robles, all of these artists spend hours and hours and hours at shows all throughout the year pumping out sketches for people only so this company can be functional. And I got to give them a shout out right now because it's something that the fans and I certainly should never take for granted. How long does it take? Generally, a full body pencil sketch will take around 45 minutes, something that you got and you can see on your show, the commission that you got, that's maybe an hour, 45 minutes and something like that. And our sketches vary from headshots that take 15 minutes to a half hour and things like that. But it is not uncommon, if I've done my job selling correctly, to be at a show and all of our artists, they get there at 9 in the morning and their pencil starts drawing and they don't stop till 8 at night.
All right, let's go. This is guerrilla television. We're taking over.
This interview. Yeah. You can see the transition. They're all forming into one.
I would have left him.
We're always looking for new and talented individuals. If you would like to be a part of ConMen, please send us your original documented convention experience through artwork, filming, photography, and writing. Thank you for watching.